Hey everybody, Andy Rozak from NACCHO here with you today. I had a chance to catch up with Angela Mora down at the El Paso City Health Department and hear about a great program that they have going with the local libraries. The timing for this couldn't be better, as the National Library of Medicine has just announced funding opportunities for $15,000 to $30,000. Applications are due in the middle of June, and you can find more information below in the show notes. So now let's go to NACCHO TV down to El Paso, Texas.
My name is Angela Mora. I'm Health Deputy Director with the City of El Paso Department of Public Health. And the first thing that I would like to say is that we are very grateful, the community of El Paso, for the opportunity that the National Library of Medicine provided for us with the contract that we have right now in place to basically to strengthen the capacity of El Paso community in becoming prepared and responding to emergencies. Through this grant, we have been able to do a lot of great things, I believe. We brought together some communities that are some of the most disenfranchised communities, and these individuals are the community health workers in El Paso, better known as promotoras. They are individuals that are key leaders in their community, and that they are able to find resources and guide the community in accessing whatever needs they have. And in this case, it's preparedness, education, and resources. One of the other community that we brought together, two more groups, target groups, is first responders and librarians. These three communities, these three target groups came together during two workshops that we hosted in February, also as part of this NLM grant. And they were all-day workshops in which first responders, which included the Sheriff's Office, El Paso Police Department, the FBI, we had Homeland Security, Fire Department. They came together to provide presentations to the target audiences on their roles and the responsibilities and the resources that they have available for the community.
It was an amazing workshop for me. Everything was very good, increased my knowledge, and also gave me excellent tools and some strategy for preparing and planning emergency plan.
Ms. Margie Quijano. I'm the resource manager for 201 Texas Rio Grande Center. Our center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we provide human health services for anything across the state of Texas that is a state resource or a nonprofit agency. Anybody that is in need and doesn't know where to call, 201 is a free line available, like I said earlier, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So our call specialists are trained specialists, and they'll be able to answer their calls, do an assessment to see if they could find a resource for them and make the referral at that time. If there's a season project going on during that time, you could say in January and February we had tax season, and we had a lot of callers calling to find out where they could get free income tax services done. During that time, our call volume definitely peaks up, but then it goes down depending on what's happening during that year. But we're averaging about 8,000 to 9,000 calls a month. Mondays are our heaviest call day volume, and it drops down on Fridays. And at the workshops, we were able to present our services to the workshop partners and emergency response. A lot of them didn't even realize our services were 24/7, so they also were able to learn what 211 does and how valuable the tool we have available to our community as well.
It was awesome. Everything was great. The speakers, the information, the resources provided. It was awesome. For example, one of the resources, it was a directory prepared for the health department, which provides resources for disaster preparedness, disaster response, and recovery after a disaster, and that directory is bilingual, Spanish and English. Very, very good tools.
Another outcome of this grant was the development of a bilingual preparedness resource directory. So this is what we put together, and we did not expect to have such an overwhelming response, positive response from the target populations, but they seem to love it. And of course, this resource directory right now is 18 pages long, and it has a lot of the resources that we have in the community in terms of services, but it has a large section that includes the online resources, and a lot of the resources are from government and the National Library of Medicine. So you see we have one column in English and one in Spanish for the resources. So we, again, did not expect such a positive outcome, but the participants have been very happy with this resource directory, and they have asked us to update it on a regular basis to add additional resources. It's 18 pages long again right now, but I think it's going to be, it's going to grow much more.
One of the other opportunities, and what I felt was very important, is the resources that we identified during this project with the National Library of Medicine, is that those resources are going to be available across the state. So if in the event that we do have a disaster, those additional resources that we did not have before, where we found that gap, are now going to be available to them. And this, I know our state office is excited that they were able to find these resources that we were not using, that during the time of the event, those resources are going to be available. We're not going to have to search for them. We're not going to have to know who do we call to find those resources. They have easy access to it across the state now.
Like I said before, one of the databases presented at the workshop was Disaster Information Management Resource Center from National Library of Medicine. That database has a section for librarians. Very good tool, very good tool.
From the public health perspective, at least for the City of El Paso Department of Public Health, the opportunity to work with the National Library of Medicine was invaluable. We met a lot of the librarians, local librarians, and they, of course, most of them are very familiar with the NLM and the resources. But here with us in public health, we were not that familiar with the resources and the accessibility. We talked to the staff at the NLM. They are extremely accessible, and they are extremely resourceful. We as public health providers, we began that relationship with the NLM now, and we are planning on building it because it brings, it really strengthens our capacity to learn and to provide resources to the community as well. Everybody was in awe to see how much they have available and how detailed. And the other thing for a community like El Paso, which is highly bilingual, and there's a number of individuals that are monolingual Spanish speakers, there's also a wealth of Spanish language resources as well. So to public health again, I think you should explore the resources of the NLM so that you can strengthen your capacity to serve the community as well. As one of the main outcomes of this grant by the NLM is our connection, or the relationship that now we have established with local librarians. The El Paso Community College libraries, they work very closely with us. We work with public libraries and other medical librarians, and we discover just a new world with librarians. So our new group of very strong allies now are the librarians. We met them personally. We know what librarians and libraries are all about in terms of emergency preparedness, and we feel that we have strengthened our network of providers thanks to this grant. So the connection to libraries is something new for us and an invaluable resource.